What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle from Lone Star 92.5 and 97.1, the Eagle. And of course, you know it. You've seen it all over the place. WWE Monday Night RAW returns to Dallas January 20th at American Airlines Center. Tickets, by the way, still available, Ticketmaster.com. And today on the show, we're joined by the legendary Raquel Rodriguez joins the show. Raquel, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show with us today.
Finally, someone acknowledges me as the legend. Thank you.
The legendary Raquel.
God, I know everybody in Texas knows about me. I know. I'm as famous as Whataburger.
Exactly. What is your go-to at Whataburger, by the way?
Okay, so it's been one that I've been building for a while because we used to get free Whataburger for every sport we played in high school. So I had it 3 times a week sometimes.
Right.
But the one I would say is my go-to, now, I love to get a double bacon cheeseburger with jalapenos and mustard. And then I like to get some spicy ketchup on the side because I like to dip if I can, or I just I use the thing and I just pour a little bit of spicy ketchup on the burger and bite into it like that. I don't want it in the burger. I just want to put it on top, before you play.
I think I might be going to Whataburger for lunch after this interview's over now that we're talking about it.
Some jalapenos and some spicy ketchup. Yeah, it's great for the stomach. It's great for the acid reflux. It'll really get you going during the day. Put some hair on your chest,
Absolutely.
Really.
I think that we should petition Whataburger to name a burger after you. Name that burger after you. I think that's what we're going to do.
I think so too. Yeah. Yes, I agree. We should
I know some of the people in the Whataburger, promotion side and marketing side. So we'll kick that to them and be like, yo, give her this deal, name a burger after her. Let's go on with it.
Yeah, let's go on with it. Put me on a billboard. Again, I'm legendary, so
absolutely.
Who's not going to want to buy a Whataburger after seeing this beautiful mug biting into a double meat? You know what I'm saying?
We talk about legendary. One of the big things recently, you participated in a women's WarGame match at Survivor Series. Let's talk about that for a second. What were your thoughts on that experience and how did it compare to your previous matches?
I love a good cage match. Anything with a cage around the ring, put me in it, sign me up. Yes, I'll be there. You know what I mean? VIP right here. I had so much fun in that match. I really, really did. It's just the possibilities are endless when it comes to matches like those because you can get so creative with the weapons you're using, with the cage, with the people that are in the ring, and what those people can do. If they're super flippy and they do all these cool jumps, like Io, for example. Who is she? Who does she think she is, jumping off of the top of the cage with a trash can on her doing a moonsault?
Yeah.
A moonsault? Absolutely blows my mind. It blew my mind the first time I caught her in the trash can back in NXT, in our WarGames in NXT. And I was like, wow, she's jumping blind, good on her. She's brave. This year, she decided to add a moonsault to it to make it, even just more Io Sky of her. And
right.
I'm still in awe of it because that's what I love about these matches. You just never know what's going to happen and what crazy stuff you're going to come up with. And even though you come up with this crazy stuff, it's like, okay, how can I make this come to life? And that's the best part of it, is making it come to life, seeing it happen in the actual match and watching people's faces and their reactions. Chef's kiss to that. That's the best feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you guys had to, start the night off for that Survivor Series. I mean, and that's obviously a big task to set the tone. And of course, the women's match did set the bar pretty high for the rest of the night after your match was over. Unfortunately, though, your team didn't come up victorious, but we're going to put that in the past. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about right now. And of course, we're talking about Monday Night RAW coming to Dallas, American Airlines Center. You can still grab tickets, Ticketmaster.com. And, a lot of people, when they saw this happen, they're like, we see something good happening. Joining the Judgment Day marked a significant turn in your WWE journey. What motivated this decision and how has it influenced your character development?
Yeah, I think, excuse me, what motivated it was definitely Liv Morgan. I mean, before I left, with what I had going on this past year, I was still in touch with Liv Morgan. I mean, we didn't really end on bad terms. She had to leave because of a shoulder injury and I was still working, and then I got sick and I had to leave, and she came back and she just set the ground for herself and for Judgment Day and this new Judgment Day that was building. And she just ran with it. You know what I mean? And so watching her from home, watching her grow into this mega superstar, into becoming the top woman in WWE, the face of WWE, I was just so proud and so in awe of her. And I still, to this day, she inspires me in so many ways. And so that decision to join the Judgment Day was super, super easy, and we had discussed, the possibilities of me coming back and helping her out and being like in a throuple, if you will, with her and Dom. I was just so excited. I was so excited because it's funny how everything comes full circle. My sister always likes to joke that like, oh, I made Raquel, who she is today because I'm the older sister, but she's shorter than me. So she would start the fights and someone
Mhm.
would have to come in and finish them. And that was always me. We played basketball together. That's what would happen on the court. She would start a fight, I would come in and I would finish it. If she was cheerleading and I was just around at the football game doing whatever and she would get into a fight, I was there to back her up. So she likes to say she bred this bodyguard, which that's exactly how I kind of feel with Liv Morgan. She's my sister, and I feel like, Dom is her boyfriend, and I'm just there, like, kind of like, I guess the third wheel, but in a good way. I like being this version of the third wheel. And it's just so much fun. I get to joke around with Dom, who's like a little brother, and like a cousin at this point, and I get to be with my sister Liv, and I absolutely love just being around her and watching how her mind works when it comes to like creating these scenes and these characters. And she's so inspiring, and she's so like she pushes you in a good way to want to do better and to want to be better. And I feel like since I've joined the Judgment Day and been back, I have grown leaps and bounds, not just in Raquel as Raquel coming back in the Judgment Day, but as Raquel already in the Judgment Day growing as her own character. And I see that, and I know a lot of it has to do with Liv. So I
Yeah.
attribute 100% a lot of my decision to Liv Morgan.
Absolutely. And it's really cool to see how the Judgment Day started and then how where we're at now. And it's going to be interesting to see how things play out because it seems like there's a little bit of animosity in between everything. It seems like there might be a little trouble in paradise with Dom and Liv. We
No,
don't know
never.
what's
Don't
going
say
on.
it. Don't
I mean, we're all seeing it on TV as it unfolds every week on Netflix. We don't know what's happening with Finn and JD, and you got Carlito that's just there. He's kind of around making jokes, and
Hey,
uh,
Carlito has a purpose. Carlito has a purpose, all right? And his is gonna come through big one day. Just watch.
oh,
Yeah, Finn has a lot going on. I think he needs to like figure that out because it's portraying into the group. It's bleeding into the group a little bit. For sure. I see that being a little bit of an effect, but Liv and Dom are fine. They're fine. Nothing's
okay.
going on with them. I don't want anyone to worry. Liv and Dom are solid as a rock. All right, and they're gonna continue to be solid. No worries.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad we don't have to get them like on a Jerry Springer show or anything. Hopefully, that's never going to happen. I when we were going through everything, getting prepared for this interview, I think you manifested this one. You expressed interest in the past of having a women's Intercontinental Championship, adding more titles to the women's division, and lo and behold, we just crowned a new Intercontinental Women's Champion with Lyra Valkyrie. What impact do you believe having the Intercontinental Women's title and the United States Women's title being added to the women's division, and how do you envision that role within the division?
Oh my gosh, I think both of those titles are just going to bring more eyes to the women's division. It's more opportunities for more women to step up, to step through, to show the talent that WWE has for their women's locker room. I think I just talked about the women's locker room not too long ago about how amazing it is because we all just want what's best for the women's division. We want to be the best women's division in wrestling. And so we all set out to put everything else aside and to go out there and to put on an absolutely amazing show to the best of our abilities. And so having these two new titles is really going to give more opportunities to more women who are training hard every day and just haven't had that one chance to step into front of the camera. But now that we have these two new titles, these two new titles to go after, to fight for, we have more women who are going to want to come through and step through the woodworks. And so I think you guys are going to be seeing a lot of new faces, a lot of new female faces that are going to be in the women's division, a lot more chances to fall in love with different characters. And I really, really love that this is happening right now for the women's division because it couldn't come at a better time. Our women's division is huge when you count the women on Raw, on SmackDown, on NXT, and the women that we still bring from, like outside resources. I think it's absolutely insane how much it's growing and how much of an effect it has, especially on young girls at this time. I know when I was younger and I was watching wrestling, I was like one of the only girls to really admit to watching wrestling and to being open about it because there wasn't too many women for us to like look up to or to be represented by, like of course we had Beth Phoenix, we had Trish Stratus, all these amazing women, but it wasn't a lot. And
Mhm.
now it's just growing and we're getting more time on TV and we're getting more opportunities to show our faces And so I think a lot of little girls, you're just going to be seeing them being drawn to the product a lot more too, especially with it being on Netflix now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you talk about growing up watching wrestling. I've grown up watching wrestling my entire life. And when you thought of women's wrestling, when I was growing up, there was only like 5-10 minutes at best when women's wrestling was on TV total for the whole night. And now you sit here and you look at it and it's like there was an all women's pay-per-view. Women are main eventing WrestleMania, main eventing, Raw and SmackDown and NXT. And it's great to see how things have gone from here to here, especially in the time frame.
Yeah, it's so cool. I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm beyond grateful to be a part, just to say that I'm a part of this women's division, because it's huge right now. Everyone wants to be in this women's division. It's the best women's division in the world. We are producing some of the best female superstars, wrestlers on this entire planet, out of every country, every promotion. We are producing some of the top. And so like that goes a long way, and that says something about our women's division for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe just one day, because you've got people that are coming back soon, like Charlotte. We saw her backstage on social media at NXT. Becky, when she comes back, maybe we can get another all women's pay-per-view soon, because you said the division is stacked and there's enough titles that you can have a bunch of matches.
This is true. Let's I think we're good at manifesting stuff. So we're going to say that on here, right? We're going to put that out there. We're going to have another all women's pay-per-view. I see it coming.
Oh man, that's going to be just another great thing that WWE is doing. And the one thing that I love about when people are very open and honest with themselves, especially when it comes to social media, you don't shy away from anything. And you've talked about your journey with your health and your career decisions, and it's been very inspiring to see that you've been open with everybody on this and you don't shy away from it. What strategies have you employed to maintain a positive outlook and stay connected with your passion for wrestling and staying connected with fans and saying, hey, this is me?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to go with just wanting to be real. I think like we are bombarded with so much fake information, false information, all this stuff that's constantly on social media. AI has really upped the ante on what is real and what isn't fake this past year, especially. So I think like, especially for the younger people that are watching, I have a niece, she's 6 years old. And every time I see her or I go to her gymnastics meets or her birthday parties, these little kids who find out what I do, they all come and they ask me these questions. And I think it's important for people in this position, especially, to take a step back and realize who our audience is and who's watching and what kind of information we're providing to our audiences. And so for me, especially being an auntie to, my niece and to my nephew, and being close to my friends who also have kids and wanting to have a positive impact on them, even as a bad guy, I try to stay as real as possible. We all go through illness. So I want to be open and real about, like it sucks, it's hard, and it takes a big toll on your mental health. But if you cannot persevere and push yourself out of that rut, then you will be stuck in that forever. And I want people to know that there is an out. Like things happen to us in our lives. I think I said this for this new year. I could make a New Year's resolution. Sure, yes, I do have my New Year's resolutions, but at the same time, I want to be aware to the fact that good and bad things are going to happen this year, whether we like it or not. That's life. Life is always going to have the good. It's always going to have the bad. It's how you come through at the end of what's happening that's been bad in your life. And so I want people to know they're not alone. I want them to know that, like, we all go through it no matter what position we are in life. And so I just hope that they realize from watching my social media and seeing how real and open I'm being, that there is an out and that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what I want people to look forward to, is to really just push through the darkness that might be happening in their life at this time, because it's not easy. And we all have been there. And sometimes, I've been lucky enough to have an amazing supporting family that has had my back and has been there for me to pull me out of that rut. And I know a lot of people don't have that blessing. And so if I can be just like one hand on their shoulder, pushing them a little bit from my Instagram or from my TikTok, and just that one video really gives them that shove to kind of like look forward to something, then I've made a good impact that I feel is what I want to do with my social media for sure. Is I just want to be sure that the audiences know that they're not alone. And, we go through it too, guys. We're all human.
So, I think that once, you finally hang up the wrestling boots, I think motivational speaker should be your next career path. After just hearing what you just said there, inspiring a lot of people, including young girls and females, because I've got nieces as well, and they've started kind of gravitating towards wrestling. And it was a slow build because it was just kind of like they would watch wrestling and then they'd be like, I don't like this. But then when they start seeing, more girls on there wrestling, they're like, I can do that too. And so now, when my nieces come over, they like to wrestle my 6-year-old, and they go upstairs to his room, and they have like a wrestling ring and a match and all this other stuff. And of course, the uncle in me has to buy them all the wrestling figures and the title belts. So yeah, it's a great thing for sure. And of course, WWE Raw is coming to Dallas January 20th, American Airlines Center. Tickets still available, Ticketmaster.com. If you can't get to it, you can always watch it on Netflix. And real quick, before we let you go, looking ahead, we're just a couple weeks into January. What goals have you set for yourself in WWE, both in terms of championship pursuits and personal growth within the industry for this year?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely want to win the women's tag team championship titles again with my girl Liv, so that we can be 3-time women's tag team champs. That's a goal for sure, that hopefully, is something that we're going to start pursuing soon. And then, I think to win a championship on my own too is definitely a goal that I have for 2025. I think I've started off the year right. We've come in a long way from this past year. And so I think that's what's looking into my future, and whether that be the Intercontinental Championship, the U.S. Championship, the Women's World Championship, with the WWE Women's Champion. Like, we have so many options now with all these titles going around. So that's definitely what I'm looking forward to. And then developing just into a bigger and badder Raquel that's just representing, all of the Latinos in Texas and the Latinas that are just looking to have someone of their color representing them and their state. And so I'm just really excited for what this year holds, because I know it has so many surprises too. So I'm really trying not to figure out what those surprises are. I want to be surprised.
Right.
But we can all be surprised together.
Absolutely. And we're going to manifest it. You're all about manifesting. You manifested the Intercontinental Women's Championship. Years later, it happened. We're manifesting that Raquel's going to have not only tag team championship gold, she's going to have singles gold as well. And we're just putting it out there in the universe. So she'll have all the gold if we had our way.
Yes, love it.
Raquel, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we look forward to seeing you here in Dallas on Monday Night Raw.
Thank you.